Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 12, Sunday, live. We will be taking your viewer questions around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so don't even bother putting them in there until around 10:25 because we're not even going to see them. Unless they're in there right now, we do 5 off the top, which we'll get to in a second with Garion Thorne. But first, I need to let you know that if you're looking for the updated rankings or updated DraftKings cheat sheet, hit the description of this video and or podcast, or just go to dkplaybook.com like you always can. Paul, what are we doing?
Turn on the lights behind you.
Oh, the lights behind me are just, I thought you were trying to like put one of those red laser pointers in my eyes. Didn't know what the hell was going on from behind the camera. Anyway, folks out there, you can also play in the best tournament on DraftKings, the Pat Mayo Experience Open. The link is in the description of this video. It's not quite full yet, but it's $15 to play, 3 max entry, no rake, $45,000 of guaranteed money, so you may want to get into that. And if you want to get into one of the 2 draws this week, draw number 1 for $20 DK dollars, smash the like button for this episode. You should be smashing every like button for every episode. But if you do it for this one, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section and tell me who the slate breaker on week 12 is going to be. But if you want to get into a draw for $50 DK dollars, subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, leave a 5-star review up there, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show, and boom. You'll be in the draw for $50 DK dollars. The winners will be announced on Monday's show live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with Sal Vetri recapping the week. Garion Thorne, he's here.
Hello.
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 You ready for 5 questions off the top?
Oh, it's all that's been getting me through the week.
Just waiting for
Just
it?
waiting for these questions.
Number
Need the
one.
validation.
Number 1. Devin Singletary or Scorin McLaurin as a flex?
Scoring.
I'd still take McLaurin. Singletary doesn't really do anything, does he?
I mean, he's definitely gotten more carries and more touches than.
What about
when we were
those?
the
What about
first
those
couple.
touches that matter though? He doesn't get
Yeah,
those.
It's still. Again, we talk so much about how Frank Gore is kind of the goal line back, and we also skirt over that Josh Allen is still really the goal line back on this team. It's just hard for him from a scoring expectancy standpoint. I'd still take the guy whose name is Scorin McLaurin.
Exactly. Bills or Browns defense in season long? Probably play the Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
Did you know that in their 10 games, the team facing the Miami Dolphins hasn't finished worse than a defense won? They finished inside the top 12.
12 defense every week.
Every week.
That would not surprise me, no. As someone who's watched most of those games, that would not shock me.
So do you feel like you have special insight to this in the name of the Laird?
Yes.
So we'll get to that here in a second.
We'll get to that. We'll wait for someone else.
Sutton, Geis, or Dede Westbrook standard? I'd still play Sutton.
Sutton, yeah.
Bad matchup, but he's a huge guy.
He's going to get 9 to 10 targets. That's pretty good.
Dak Prescott or famous Jameis? I would play the man who is famous. That would be Jameis.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Oh, God, I'm going to save this one for Tim because it's about wind. Choose 2. Oh, no, it jumped on me. Debo Samuel or James Washington? Debo appears like he's going to play with his shoulder injury.
Yeah.
But Kittle looks like he's going to be back, and Sanders looks like he's going to be back.
Yes, I'll take James Washington.
But Deontay Johnson is back.
True.
Not concerned about that?
I'd be more concerned about Johnny Holton.
You love Johnny
Loves
Holton.
going deep.
This is like the 3rd person to mention Johnny Holton on the show this week. He loves straight
You know
lines.
what he did?
What?
Second in air yards last week.
He's great at air yards. Does he have a catch this year?
One, he had 1 catch.
Okay, that's
One
good
catch
for
last
him.
week.
All right, let's bring in the 3rd member of the team. He is on the line right now and just waiting to spit hot fire. It is Tim Andergust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name.
So yeah, the floor is yours. Tell us about how you're all in on Patrick Laird this week.
I mean, I've got him in all my lineups. I think he's a fantastic play.
So one lineup?
I was
You
going
have
to
him
say,
in one lineup?
Can we stress how many
And
lineups
the
that is
double up.
currently?
And the double
Oh,
up.
that is important that Tim thinks Patrick Laird is a cash game play this week.
I like
Only because you can then play McCaffrey, who's 10,500, and play him at 3,400. It's like playing 2 $6,000 running backs, essentially.
I'm glad
get
you've
to
done
play
the math
McCaffrey.
since you did this argument last time when you said 5,000.
You get to play McCaffrey for free. He's a must play. He's going to get tons of. I think he's going to get a decent amount of work here in this game. Balaj is terrible. And this kid played at Cal. I was watching YouTube clips yesterday. When he played at Cal, he was really good, and he played well in the preseason. So
one sec. Your
I'm going to
contention.
wager that Balaj was also good at Arizona
Yeah.
State.
Which NFL players were shitty in college? Please let me know.
I stand by my point. I think he's a good running back. I think the Dolphins are going to try to get him into the mix because they know Balaj is no good. $3,400. I think he's a steal. I have complete and total faith that he's going to produce today.
I just don't think you need to go down that low at running back. It seems like a real big risk.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to play a Dolphin who's super cheap, why not just pay for another running back and have like Alan Hearns at $3,300?
Don't want to. To be honest with you.
Even just their best offensive weapon is only 5'1", 5'2". Parker?
Yeah.
He's not even expensive.
You know, like Balaj is 4'4".
Yeah,
You just use him.
look.
To be fair, I expect there to be lots of points in this game because the Browns are very talent poor and the Dolphins are very talent poor. I expect a lot of points to be scored in this game.
We should stress that when you say I expect a lot of points in this game, I believe the Browns have scored more than 24 points twice this season, and I don't think the Dolphins have done it once. So that should be clarified. I don't know, man. Like I can understand looking at Kalen Balaj and the performances he's had the past 2 weeks and going, oh, that will change. A coaching staff will augment that somehow. He's played 80% of the snaps back-to-back weeks. He got an endorsement from the coaching staff last week saying, we believe in this guy, we've got to give him the football. Look, I know Laird caught 5 garbage time passes on the last drive of the game for the Dolphins in a contest they were trailing by 3 scores. Doesn't seem overly sustainable to me as a model of future production. I'm not saying play Balaj. Worked last week. Don't think I'm going to go back to that well. But, I mean, I think the Dolphins are generating the second fewest adjusted line yards per carry. Their offensive line is garbage. This is not a situation where you drop in a running back and it's like, oh, what a matchup for this guy. What a construct around him. What scoring expectancy. Just not there.
With Jordan Howard not playing, if it was you, Garion,
Yeah.
and you were trying to win against us on DraftKings this week, would you play Laird or Jay Ajayi for $3,000? Like, I would say that Ajayi has a better chance of scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. Yep.
But you misunderestimate the fact that Ajayi is terrible. Just terrible.
And Patrick Laird is...
Untrue. I saw his college highlights, and they were amazing.
Okay.
Wait, wasn't that just your argument?
Well, no, it wasn't just my argument. I think Garion actually made a good point that Balaj, did not in the last drive. It wasn't Balaj who was getting all the catches. It was Laird.
It was a 17-point game, Tim.
Well, the Browns are favored. Last I looked by 11. Like the league anticipates or the books anticipate the Dolphins to be down by a similar amount. So that game script, so-called, might actually come to form here. If the Browns manage to get up by 10 points or 17 points, well, Balaj is going to be out of the game.
That's fair. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is the Dolphins didn't suddenly snap their fingers with 5 minutes left in that game and go, oh, we're down 17 all of a sudden. They were losing the entire game. And Patrick Laird still only played 23% of the snaps. I don't understand this.
There.
I think this started out as a joke, and then it picked up steam, and people just didn't know what to do with it. And then Davis got in, and it was like, oh, it's here. There's nothing we can do about it now.
I mean, if you wanted to play McCaffrey, you can just play McCaffrey and still have $5,000 left per player. I don't see why you have to play McCaffrey and Patrick Laird.
It's not like we haven't had practice with this either. He's been this price for 3 weeks now.
I said to Garion off air, like, you may accuse me of being like Sally, going to the Great Pumpkin Patch with Linus to wait for the Great Pumpkin to appear that never comes. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to come in.
I would honestly like to know, what is your best case scenario for Patrick Laird today? And what is your, if we play this out 10 times, 7 times, he gets this stat line?
I think he'll give me double-digit fantasy points.
No, I want a line. Please give me a line.
I think 10 points. That's where
give us a fucking line.
Give
like
me
he's asking.
Rushing yards, carries, and receptions.
Like a slash line.
Yes.
I would say he gives me 5.5 over under 5.5 catches.
Give us a stat line. What's so hard about this? How many rushing attempts do you think that he gets?
20.
20 rushing attempts. How many yards?
No, sorry. I meant touches. He gets 12 rushing attempts.
Okay, 20 touches is fine. Cool.
Yeah, 12 rushing attempts for 66 yards, but 8 catches for 75 yards and a major.
Do you think
So he's going to score
Christian McCaffrey?
25 points. Hey, he's Christian McCaffrey, is what you're saying.
That's what I think he's going to play today.
What's similar between Patrick Laird and Christian McCaffrey that's making people go crazy this week?
I don't know.
What's the
I
correlation?
don't get it. I mean, I only watch the games in Braille, so I don't know.
I'm playing Laird because that way I can put McCaffrey and Michael Thomas into my lineup, and I can this way.
I don't know, man.
I endorse trying. I mean, I wouldn't be Michael Thomas. I tried to get in. I tried to get in Kamara.
Yeah.
Along with McCaffrey,
I
and then
have
you don't need to worry about it.
I'm stacking the Saints-Panthers game.
It's a real expensive game to stack.
It is.
So,
but
beyond that, so you're playing Laird. What other loser are you playing?
Hump Daddy's only 3,900 this week. He's in my lineup. Josh Gordon's only 4,200. He's in my lineup. Hollister is only 4,300. He's in my lineup.
Hollister, I don't mind.
Sure.
Now that Dixon's been put back on injured reserve, they had to
I
promote.
saw enough on Monday night 2 weeks ago from Josh Gordon to think, okay, at that price, I can play him.
This
That's
is
a reason.
also, I mean, I feel like we say this a lot, but I would really stand by this. This is probably the worst tight end week we're going to get on a main slate this season.
I think that if you want to go down, apparently there's wind. I've heard that in the New England Dallas game.
Yeah.
Not just wind, but cold rain.
Cold rain.
Oh,
That's
what about chubby rain?
Yeah,
Behave yourself.
I totally forgot about chubby rain.
That's a 1%er.
What, people aren't lining up to the theaters to go rewatch the re-release of Bowfinger? No. All you gotta do is yell at the sky and say, "I'm gonna get you, suckers."
I went to the movies last night.
You went to the movies
Did you
last
watch
night?
Bowfinger?
No.
Oh.
I went to go see Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, was it good?
Excellent.
Who won? Well, give me a stat line for Ferrari.
That 24 hours of Le Mans seems really cool. I think I could have done that.
Here
Oh
we go.
my God.
Here we go.
So, what is proclaimed to be the most difficult race on Earth, and that I think tops even the Iditarod, where you race with dogs, which Tim also wouldn't do well at. You think you could hold up in that car? It's not a big car, is it? These aren't huge
No,
dudes.
you're not actually in it for the whole 24 hours. People do it, and you don't think somebody's up. Anyway, I think I could do it. I think I could have been a participant.
I feel like we've talked about this before. Is Tim a good driver?
No,
I feel
Tim's
like he's not a good driver.
Tim drives at least 5 below the speed limit at all times. I don't think that car racing is where you need to be going.
Oh, you underestimate my skills.
He also doesn't turn on max AC because it ruins his engine.
No, I said it.
And he's someone who's constantly hot in his car.
That's why the good Lord invented windows. You can roll them down.
They're not much good if you're going 5 miles an hour.
Or if it's hot out.
Oh, that hot air feels so good
I
against my
remember
face.
my grandma made that comment. We went to go visit my uncle in LA when he first moved there. And he had the same car that he had when he drove it from
Sure.
the East Coast to the West Coast, and like the air conditioning broke. She's like, "Well, why don't you just stick your head out the window or roll down the window?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like sticking your head into a hair dryer, just blasting heat at yourself. It's bad news."
Not great.
Forget where I was going with all of this. Bowfinger.
Right.
That's where I was going with this.
The important part.
The important parts of all of this. Didn't realize when I was like 12, because I actually watched Bowfinger within the last year, that it's just like a gigantic laugh at Scientology.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that in 1997.
Seems early. to
Way
just
ahead
be-
of the curve on it, yeah.
Also, was that the first movie Eddie played multiple characters? No.
No, the Clumps would have to be up there. You're just the original Nutty Professor.
I just
Definitely.
couldn't remember what year the original Nutty Professor
I
came
want to say
out.
95.
96?
Paul, it looks like you had a question.
I just wanted to say, yeah, Hollister, Laird, McCaffrey, Hump Daddy. Seems like Tim has a certain type. Just saying.
Yeah, Tim's not watching the games in Braille.
No.
I'm not committed to Humphrey.
He sees hustle.
Yeah, he's...
I could change him out.
To like Hunter Renfro or something, right?
Cole Beasley, big week.
No, I was kind of thinking Zay Jones, actually.
What? Please tell me why.
Because the Jets' corners are god awful, and the Raiders are going to try to bomb it when opportunities arise. Some Raiders receiver is going to have a huge day, and he's cheap, and it just seems like a reasonable pick.
Would you like to guess what Zay Jones' best receiving yards total is
As a member,
as a member of the Raiders?
I would say 3 yards.
27.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But yeah.
He's gonna have a big day though.
He had his greatest DraftKings week with the Raiders last week against Cincinnati when he scored 5.5 DraftKings points.
It's pretty good.
Now, I will say, Tim has been very good the last 2 weeks at these seemingly completely random plays, and somehow they score a touchdown.
I remember what I wanted to talk about
Okay.
before we went off on a 10-minute tangent.
They'll get 6 sacks.
Tight ends. Tight ends.
Right.
Very bad. People tell me this all the time. This week, even more terrible than normal. But if you want to pay down, I think there are options that you can use. And this is where I would prefer to go get my salary cap relief. Like, Hollister's one thing, but just instead of playing Laird, just play double cheap tight ends.
Yeah.
Like, you could play Hollister at 43, but you can also bring up, I like Hearns at receiver at 3,300, but if you don't use him, I think Gesicki's a better play at 3,400. I think that
Vance is a decent play at 3.5.
a lot of people are using Vance. I don't think there's a big differentiation between him and the rest of these guys. Like Dawson Knox at $3,000.
I like Noah Fant this week. I know everyone's scared by Buffalo, but
It's
like
not
a
so much that
28% target
it's
share.
not so much that I'm scared by Buffalo. I'm scared of my main man Hierman is back. So he's going to be playing a lot.
who caught that touchdown last week?
Some
that we
guy.
thought was Heuerman?
Just some guy. I think
also
his last
has
name
a
is
14-letter last name.
Yeah, I think his name was very Hawaiian, and that immediately disqualifies him from Tim's lineup.
I used to love Chris Matu Ma'afala.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the guy who played for the Rams?
Oh,
Oh, tight end.
yeah, with the H.
Hamana Mui. He used to play for the Patriots
It's close, yeah.
It's funny-
Ma'afala was the fullback for the Steelers back in the day.
Yeah, and then he ended up like starting like 3 games when the bus went down.
He certainly did. Before they got Deuce Staley. See, your tweet earlier this week of old-timey fantasy guys got me to go back and look at like 2005, 2006 guys. And I was like, I forgot all about these people. They were great, like Joe Juravicious.
So your lineup this week is an homage to
Yeah.
the good old days? Is that what's going
Your
on
life
here?
is an homage to 1930s football.
Or the year that like Mike Sims Walker led me to a fantasy title because he was great every week.
He was great every single week. I gave you the title that year by trading you Favre and Mike Sims Walker.
It was amazing. I still think Favre should have been MVP that season. What he was doing with Sidney Rice, who was only back because they lied about Favre's concussion, or about his concussions. You know, it was great.
Oh, this guy in the chat makes a really good point. In Trading Places, Eddie Murphy pretended to be the blind guy with no legs until the police arrested him.
Good point. That's a very good point.
Eddie.
He's
just ahead of the game.
When's he on Saturday Night Live?
Less than a month. It was
Yeah,
sometime
I
in
believe it's the
December.
last one before. Will Ferrell was on last night. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. Probably pretty good.
Was he talking about Linda Ham?
Linda Ham! The other tight end. I got a name for you. Ready?
Sure. Is it a Harvard grad?
No, it's not. Well, I don't know. He's an Irish assassin, though.
Oh, different guy.
He's Nick O'Leary, and he's the only tight end who's going to be active for the Jags. He's $2,700. Or Tim's pal, Dr. Moreau. He's $2,800. Like, if the Jets suck so much, they throw to him in the red zone.
Only scores
certainly
touchdowns.
do.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to find a way to save money, I think I'd just rather play touchdown or bust with one of these guys, wouldn't you? Rather
would
than
say
the
all of
running
their-
back who might touch the ball twice or 38 times like Tim thinks.
I would say every single one of those guys' touchdown expectancies is higher than Patrick Laird.
I would agree.
Because, and look, I think this is a point we only have to talk about if we truly believe Patrick Laird is going to be a factor inside the 20s.
I mean, your hate only makes him stronger.
Fair. But we've seen this before, even when Kenyon Drake was with the Dolphins, even when Mark Walton was seemingly a viable running back.
Yeah, he's not a viable person at this
Not
point.
anymore. Wasn't before either. Had some character concerns.
Did not
coming into
know
this
that.
season.
I was not familiar with his previous character concerns. I am now concerned about his current character
Yeah,
concerns.
not great.
And how he's no longer on a team.
But Kalen Ballage, even when it seemed like they weren't willing to give him a touch anywhere on the field, he was the goal line running back. Like Patrick Laird, sure, he could touch the ball 12 times today.
Well, how do
He's
we
not going to score the touchdown?
How do we know that this isn't a week where it's like, oh, let's give Myles Gaskin a go?
There's a chance.
Party Marty Laird, get on the bench.
I don't know.
I keep confusing with the golfer Martin Laird.
That's fair. It's same value this
How
week.
about Ivan? What was the? No, now I blew it. Ivan yet Ballage.
Oh,
That's really good.
I was trying to come up with it as we were going along.
that's worth it.
If only he was good.
Nah.
But
he's not.
Great at tanking.
Yeah, but he's actually gonna touch the ball 20 times.
he's like a guy who drives his car in second gear the whole time.
So you.
Like, that's what
It's
he is.
you.
Yeah, he's you.
Because he doesn't know how to shift the gears. Because as we know, Tim doesn't know how to drive a real car.
Again, that's such an elitist, nonsensical. But you know what? I would learn if I was driving the Le Mans because I bet you those are not automatics.
You think that the Le Mans cars aren't automatics? That's your hot take.
That's my guess. Yes.
I want to drive F1, but it's got to be an automatic. I don't know how to drive stick.
Speaking of F1, do you like McLaurin this week?
Yeah. McLaurin got there last week. He had a catch called back.
He was just trying to egg you on.
Why?
Yeah, it's the worst
called him
nickname in
F1.
sports.
Oh. I'm too hungover to care
There you go.
about
That's
that.
fine.
Running back injuries. We'll probably talk about some of these injuries. Adrian Peterson has a toe problem. But
And
he's
it's
going
not an AP week,
Also
so I
has a
wouldn't worry.
Geist problem.
Yeah, he does have a Geist problem. But it doesn't look like Chris Thompson and his toe problem are actually going to come back. No Matt Breida, no Jordan Howard, no Devonta Freeman, no James Conner. The sleeper, not like sleeper, but like punt running back that I do like this week is Benny Snell. He's back for the Steelers. And this split between Edmonds and Samuels has been a lot more Edmonds, especially on the ground, and they're going to be winning in this game.
I guess the worry would just be if we find out at 11:30 that all three are active, there's probably nothing stopping them from just having a three-man committee.
They seem to really talk up Snell.
Look, he was very highly involved. I think it was the 2 weeks we had where Connor was out and Samuels was starting. I just feel like once you break that seal of we are no longer a single running back team, if all three are active, I don't know what's stopping them from just using all three.
That's fair.
But
I don't.
again, we don't really have a precedent for the Steelers utilizing three running backs in the same game.
So if you're not going to use, let's say, Patrick Laird or even Ballage for that matter, and you did want to pay down at running back, is it Bo Scarborough?
I guess.
I don't feel super comfortable with Bo Scarborough, although I did see his college highlights and they're pretty good.
Oh,
He
man.
was a great player in college.
Then why isn't he going to be great today?
I don't know. He just didn't seem to translate. He was a fantastic player in college. He was terrifying.
The big problem with Scarborough is of all the players we talk about being touchdown dependent, he is the poster child for touchdown.
But he's playing the
dependency.
Skins.
Yeah, and they give up tons of yards per carry. Generally, they induce the run as they are trailing by a large amount of points.
And then they continue to run.
But still, like, let's just take last week's performance by Bo Scarborough, take away the touchdown, he's got 5 DraftKings points. Look, I would 100 times out of 100 use Bo Scarborough over Patrick Laird, but I think that's more of a desperation needing to make things work. That's the McCaffrey play, I guess, for me, unless you want to go into the wide receiver pool and maybe play a Russell Gage.
I think it's easier to go into the wide receiver.
I agree.
Should we underscore the fact that last week his team scored 3 points and McCaffrey scored 33? He's mad.
No one is saying don't play Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, no, I know that. I'm just making the point that he is matchup, perfectly.
Who are you fighting with on this point? Who's coming at you, being like, "You're wrong. Christian McCaffrey actually sucks."
Well, the fact that he doesn't have 100% ownership is my point. There is no circumstance under which
he's $10,500.
It doesn't matter.
Let's not pretend that's not a massive factor in why he's not 100% ownership.
It shouldn't be a factor. He's perfectly protected from any sort of matchup. He's the best player in fantasy.
Look,
since
hot take, Tim. Hot take.
I honestly have no problem if your prerogative this week is to just play Kamara and not pay up for McCaffrey. I think that's perfectly viable.
This is like when people refused to bet on Tiger Woods when he won every other tournament when he was even money. He was going to win, but they wouldn't bet on him anyway, even though he was going to win. McCaffrey is going to have a huge day whether you pay for him or not. So you
Yeah,
might as well.
but Tim, here's what you don't seem to understand. When you go back and reverse engineer these lineups and look at who actually wins the giant tournaments, yes, Christian McCaffrey can score the most points at running back. But what does the rest of your team look like if you have him? Because it turns out you need all your players to be good to win. And if you put him in and then you're playing Zay Jones like you recommend, it's not going to turn out well.
But just the other week, you went through the winner of the $1 million tournament, and he had like a couple of like nobodies in his lineup. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, but it's very hard to pick multiple nobodies that go
Of
off in the
course.
same week.
Of course, it's very no. Like they didn't produce.
No,
They
I
went
went.
to-
I went over the lineup that won in my contest.
and they didn't really produce. And then there was like so. My point is, if there's 30 free points, just take them. Like, come on, people, just do it. I don't care. I'm standing on it.
They're not free. I don't know how we can better tell you they're not free points
with the price
than the
tag.
literal price tag next to his
but
name.
Free is the wrong word. They're guaranteed. That's perhaps the better term. Sorry.
Okay, well, put it this way: let's say you lock in 30 points, so that's over 1/5 of your salary cap. So if the rest of your team, works out to score as many as McCaffrey, and that's the price per dollar that you get is 3x, you actually want more than that. It means your team's only going to score 150 points. You're going to lose money.
I understand that, but you're probably not going to be able to guarantee. You can't guarantee yourself that type of production in any other place.
Look, I think you're not wrong in a certain sense, but the point of view you're taking is of a cash game. And again, that's fine. You just don't know that's what you're arguing.
I think he's a must play, not just in double ups, but in all lineups. This is 2006 LT. If you want to sit on the sidelines and watch it go by, it's your prerogative, but not me. I'm getting that moon money.
I like this week. I have a ton of lineups with McCaffrey and Kamara, McCaffrey and Henry, Kamara and Henry. Those are the basic builds that I have for most of my lineups at running back.
Yeah.
Philip Lindsay, I've worked into the mix as well.
Sure.
Everyone's using Miles Sanders. He's projected to be the highest owned of all the running backs this week.
Seems weird after last week.
Yeah, but he's not playing the Patriots anymore, playing the Seahawks. I get that it makes sense. And
Sure.
there's no Jordan Howard around. I don't think he's ever going to get a goal line touch.
No.
And if he's not doing that, like, what's realistically his upside? It's not like he's out there putting up 8 catches a game. He's putting up like 3.
And that's the thing. We saw this early in the season. There was a game. Which Eagles game was it? They lost it. Was it Tennessee, maybe? I don't know. There was a game they were trailing for 2 touchdowns for essentially the entire
There was a game.
Here's a guy who played in a game. But there was a script that was so obviously the Miles Sanders script that everyone would want to have happened that early in the season to kind of get a sense of what he was. And Jordan Howard still played more snaps and had more touches than him in that script. And I understand he's not there anymore, but it just seemed like a pretty clear indication of what this coaching staff believes the limits on Miles Sanders' abilities are. And I'm with you. I don't think he's the goal line back. I don't think there's a situation where he carries the ball 15 times in this game. I don't see the ceiling.
Not that I'm using either one of them, but since they're back-to-back in pricing, I actually think that Brian Hill is a far superior play to Miles Sanders. You get one at 1/20th the ownership, and you have the guy who actually does get the goal line touches, probably.
I had Brian Hill
I don't
last
know.
week.
We got
Yeah,
I think
he ruined
3 different Atlanta backs got a goal line touch last
That's
week.
why people should watch this show. And we said, don't play Brian Hill on DraftKings.
Yeah.
I did, though. I didn't listen.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. But Brian Hill at 30% ownership, which he was last week, is one thing. Brian Hill at 2% ownership, when he's in exactly the same spot, just a worse matchup, coming off a bad week, that's usually when you want to go back to those guys.
Are you worried at all about the Henry chalk?
No, Paul, what's the Henry stat? You tell me every day?
I believe he scores a touchdown or rushes for 100 yards or both in I don't have the exact number, but it's like
13
eight straight home
home
games or 9. We're getting close to double digits. Like when he's in Tennessee or when he's in Nashville, he puts up points.
And the Jags have a shitty run defense.
Oh, they're terrible. Just from a chalk perspective, we could probably assume he's going to be at least a top 5 owned back.
Top 5 owned back, but Ricky Sanders and Ricky walked me through his process a little bit on the Friday show. And I kind of agree with him. Like, I'm not too concerned about high-end chalk at running back.
That's true.
Like, there's a reason that people own McCaffrey and own Alvin Kamara, because there's like 4 running backs you can actually count on, and they're the ones. The guy that's really going under the radar here that I want to figure out a way to use, but it's really difficult because you want to have a Kamara or you want to have McCaffrey as one of your two starters, is Barkley. Barkley has a great matchup. He's going to get all the work. He's coming off a bye week. The last time we saw him, he was so awful. He rushed for 11 yards last time we saw him?
One rushing yard against the New York Jets.
One rushing yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard pass against the Bears. Hard pass.
But the Bears have an awful run defense, and that's how they stay in this game.
People pass all over them. I don't think it's a factor.
That is not true. The Bears have an excellent pass defense and a bad run defense.
I don't think it is bad, actually. If you look at the numbers, I don't actually think it is that bad.
Their run defense. When was the last time the Bears didn't allow a 100-yard rusher?
Gurley did not crack 100 yards on Sunday.
So what did he end up with? 20 for what?
96?
97. Sorry about that, Tim. This is like when you got triggered that when Garion said, "Oh, he hits 300." He actually hit 298.
Well,
go fuck yourself.
Either your door is open or it's closed. It's one or the other.
They don't have a good run defense. This we know about the Chicago Bears. Pass defense, quite good. As we know, they are 6th in pass DVOA. They are 12th in run DVOA right now, and that was down from 3rd at the beginning of the season when they lost their nose tackle. And they haven't been able to stop anyone
They've been
since.
bad since they lost Hicks.
They're 11th in rush defense, as I thought.
They're actually 12th in rush DVOA. But okay.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the NFL.com's website.
Are you going by rushing yards allowed?
Yeah.
No, total points, rushing yards, attempts.
So don't listen to Tim, basically.
Yeah, the numbers that I didn't come up with, and I'm spouting at you. Don't believe that.
Yeah, you're giving us irrelevant numbers because we talked about. Why would it matter what this defense did in week 1?
What did the DVOA say it was? Sorry,
12th.
I was off by one spot. You just railed at me for saying that one thing.
Yeah, because the numbers you're looking at are not numbers you should be looking at.
Fine, then they're the 12th best defense. I'll concede your point. Then they're the 12th best defense, so they're better than average. Okay, I've made my point. Let's move on.
But they haven't been over the past 4 weeks. Over the past 4 weeks, they've been inside the bottom 5. That's the whole thing. They were top 5. They're now down to 12th over the past month. So they're trending down because they've been injured. So you can run on them.
I don't dispute that. You just said they were bad. I don't think they are bad. I think they're just middle of the road.
I think they're a bad run defense. Garrett, you can be the tiebreaker.
Bad might be extreme.
They're not the Bengals.
No. But I think they are definitely a team you can use an elite running back against, especially if no one else is using him.
That's the whole point. If you're going to get Barkley, if the projections that I'm looking at right now,
they also, if I'm not mistaken, give up the most targets per game to opposing running backs, which is probably the more important part of this conversation anyway.
I guess so. The problem with the Giants is that when they get in close, it's very clear that they're just going to run Barkley up the middle.
Yeah.
And then teams just sell out to stop it. But
that's what the Jets did.
But the Jets actually have a good run defense. It's the one thing that they can do.
They're the best in the NFL.
They do have a really good run defense. It's true.
So looking at it,
why Jacobs can't be played today in a DFS lineup. You can obviously play him in, weekly, but
I actually kind of agree with him. I'm not playing any Jacobs.
Yeah. It's a bad matchup.
Kamara around 30% ownership right now.
Sure.
The next highest one, Le'Veon Bell, is way up there.
We should talk about the Jets.
I think you can stack this game.
Sure.
I actually have a Raiders stack with Jamison Crowder coming back.
I like that.
But that doesn't have McCaffrey or Kamara in it because it just didn't work.
Yeah, pricing won't work.
I think you could connect Darnold and Crowder together and then bring it back with a Raider.
The guy who's flying under the radar in that game is Tyrell Williams.
Yeah,
he's a bit pricey. It doesn't seem like people are going to him. But you can build if we talk about pivot points all the time, that if you try to pivot off of, let's say Miles Sanders, we got to go to Brian Hill. He's the guy that no one's using. He's $100 cheaper. That's a very logical pivot point. But you can actually just reconstruct your lineup to do what other people are not doing. So as part of these stacks, actually I have Kamara in it. You can build if you're willing to pay down at tight end, you can kind of make this work. But I played as my receivers Chark, Crowder, and Tyrell Williams as a part of a Raiders stack.
I like that.
That doesn't include Waller. It's just Carr and Tyrell,
right,
along with Jamison Crowder as the comeback player.
Sure.
But getting Chark in, Chark's in such a good spot, and you can fit Kamara and Derrick Henry in that lineup.
Yeah,
Chark is so good. I really want to play Chark this week. He's so
then
good.
Play him. He's in a fantastic spot. Tennessee has a terrible pass defense.
I want to play Michael Thomas because I think he's going to have a huge day.
eventually you get to the point where, yes, you're locking in these very safe points at the top. And maybe you can find the right pay down guys to go to. It just seems like an awful lot of risk. Like, I think McCaffrey, Kamara makes more sense because Kamara is just cheaper.
I mean, I think that's a very reasonable thing to say. I don't.
Like, who are you playing at quarterback in these lineups?
Right now, I have Allen.
Which Allen?
Kyle Allen. Sorry, I do have to be.
That's.
I don't hate that, actually. I don't love it, obviously.
No, it was a debate because it was going to either be Kyle Allen or Driscoll or Darnold, like someone in that range. No one above 6,000.
Well, Driscoll's the play, like he was last week.
Yeah, Driscoll's reasonable. Foles is reasonable.
Yeah, I don't mind Foles.
I don't hate Foles either. But looking at the quarterbacks, like
Although if you're putting Foles in there, you better put Chark in there.
yeah.
Yeah, or God forbid, Trubisky's not terrible. The
No.
Giants
Yo,
defense.
let's not go that route.
No, he had a great fantasy day. Like we could.
He actually didn't have a great
doesn't
fantasy day.
run anymore, and that just completely kills his fantasy.
It was like that. It was like that week that Darnold threw 3 touchdowns. You're like, what a great fantasy day. He was like 13th in fantasy scoring.
He
Like
threw 4 touchdowns last week.
no, like I believe it was 2
No,
weeks.
he did have a very good fantasy week last week.
Yeah, last week he had a really good game.
And he's a perfectly fine guy to play this week.
He's having so many good weeks now. It's hard for me to keep track. Sorry.
No, but the one week you were
Some
bragging.
people are saying he looks like Brett Favre out there.
Some people
might
say
be.
that he looks like someone who has diabetes.
He might actually be the new Brett Favre.
Brett
He's
Favre.
going to make it. Certainly
No.
looks like he's going to make that throw once or twice a game that'll kill you. But he is also going to make some throws that 3 people on planet Earth can
I
make.
like how this is your justification for just his horrendous reads.
Some guys just don't
I
get out
saw
of it.
you. I saw
Never
you
get out of it.
arguing with Salfino on Twitter last week about how his awful interception against the Redskins was. He needs to throw 10 touchdowns to make up for how horrible that one interception was.
Is Salfino still on Lamar Jackson sucks? Sam Darnold is great. That bandwagon? Because
Well,
that
it's
a
was
tough ride.
that was his bandwagon. I assume he's still
He's still on half of that bandwagon.
is half the bandwagon that Lamar sucks.
No, it is not. He's still
I had to unfollow Salfino because he just everything he tweets makes me mad. And like, why would I go on Twitter if I'm just gonna be mad the entire time? I don't want that.
That's a tough one.
that's what my Twitter existence is like.
I know, but like, it doesn't need to be that way.
Love yourself, Tim.
Game stacks. I mean,
Okay.
eventually we'll just run through all these injuries. I'll just tell you who's not playing at receiver. Not playing Auden Tate, Deshaun Jackson, Robert Woods, Mohamed Sanu. Probably not. He could play. You don't want to play him anyway. Like Garion suggested last week. Nice call. Philip Dorsett.
It's a bad game.
Nelson Aguilar is like 50-50. Probably not going to play. Juju and Green are both out. At quarterback, Trubisky's going to play, which he shouldn't be playing, but he is playing. Jameis is going to play. Matt Stafford is not going to play. He's going to play not.
Not.
Tight end, no Austin Hooper. Josh Hill doesn't look like Luke Wilson's playing. Delaney Walker doesn't seem like he's going to play.
Doubtful, yep.
Josh Olivier, or Oliver, as they say in America.
We almost got Njoku back. Not going to happen.
Yeah, Njoku's out again. Ingram's out. Rhett Ellison's out. Ed Dixon was placed on injured reserve. The Valveman, Seth
You're
DeValve,
going to go play Simonson.
or Caden.
Simon
Someone named
Scotson.
Caden. You really want to play some...
Caden.
He must be the first NFL player with millennial parents.
I was going to
Caden.
say, that guy should be playing hockey.
I'm sure he really did well in the Montessori Football League. Fuck off, Caden. Vernon Davis also placed on injured reserve, too. So, not great at tight end.
No,
There is-
I think Hollister is actually a really smart play because it was clear in the last couple of weeks that Wilson likes him, and there's just so few receiving options there.
And they use him in the red zone.
Wait. Did you just say there are so few receiving options in Seattle after not half an hour ago saying how much you liked having Josh Gordon in a lineup?
That's 2 people. That's 2 people.
Yeah, three
not
and 4
Tyler
options on the
not the top 2 guys.
But one would assume that that Lockett's going to be bracketed, that the Eagles are smart enough defensively to take him out of the game, right?
Do we forget that the Eagles' defense is bad?
I don't know. They held the Patriots.
They've been very good.
Yeah,
the last
but
3
Tim,
weeks.
you've been on. The Patriots aren't good.
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you're trying to curse them. Since you've cursed them, their offense has been horrible.
Oh, I take no responsibility for that. They're going to
Kinda
bounce back.
sneaky horrible all year.
So what do we do at tight end is the question. Because a lot of people, like the projected highest owned tight end right now is Zach Ertz. And he's looking at the list, he is the only safe guy on the list.
Not panning
But
out.
in a week where we're talking about playing fucking Russell Gage and Ben Watson and Alan Hearns and in the name of the Laird, in Laird we trust. Are you really going to spend $6,000 on a tight end?
No,
In Laird,
Can't do
we
it.
Trust. Doesn't
not
make
on
any
Laird
sense.
ass. Yeah, look.
It seems like way too much. I get and it's not like Zach Ertz has been a beacon of consistency either.
No. Well, once
And
he
he
catches
didn't
the
shake my
ball,
hand at
he
the
never
Super Bowl
runs
either.
forward, which is an issue.
He does fit Tim's all Braille team though.
Does do
He
that.
wouldn't shake my hand at the Super Bowl. I want nothing to do with him either.
Caught like 2 touchdowns in that game. Him and Alshon wouldn't shake your hand before the Super Bowl.
Good call.
And they both scored touchdowns. Steven Goskowski shook your hand while acknowledging that shaking your hand would lead to a curse, missing extra points.
I take no responsibility.
You should. I'm surprised you don't.
Yeah, you really should.
If there was ever a thing that would have gotten you to buy into the curse, it's the fact that you cursed the Patriots into losing a
No.
Super Bowl where Tom Brady threw for 500 yards.
Interesting. Now that I took Thomas out of my lineup, I was able to put in some interesting players.
Yeah, so
Well,
much
it
more
worked.
money available, wasn't there, Tim?
Yeah, there was.
So, yes, Paul.
Just this is a little bit off topic, but there's a
This show has been off
There's
topic.
an escort named Mimi in the chat. I've been trying to hook her up with Tim.
Oh, there's an escort in the chat?
Yeah,
Like a Ford escort?
claims to be an escort.
Those are big claims, Mimi.
Had some explosion emojis in
Now,
her,
pics
in her
or it
only
doesn't
post.
count?
Yeah.
So, tight end. What about this middle tier? I agree that Hollister is the best of the middle tier, but like Waller, $5,700 seems too much, right?
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
projected to be top 3 highest owned.
I can't see myself spending more than 4.3 for Hollister. I just don't. Not that I
Wonder why
don't
that
see the
is.
value in having like you said, the safety of a Zach Ertz, but I just don't see where I'm going to find that money.
A lot of people are going to Goddard as the cheap guy, knowing that there's no Aguilar, Alshon's banged up. He's basically the receiver too.
Sure, they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. I understand that.
And he's cheap. He's $3,700. I'd rather find the money. Like, I think that this little mini tier, I would initially like Noah Fant. Bills are good against tight ends, but I do think the Heuerman thing
just
coming
gets-
back worries me.
Sure,
That's-
I
This is-
still like
That's what worries me the
This
most.
is a good game to stack, really, the Seahawks and Eagles. You can do it cheaply.
Tim's ahead of the curve here. It's like if we had a rundown, he saw what was coming next. This is what I was getting to.
There we go.
But I do think this mini tier of Hollister, Griffin, and Olsen are all viable. And I don't think anyone's going to use Olsen. Like, Tim, if you like Kyle Allen and you're using him with McCaffrey, like why not go full team Braille and throw Greg Olsen onto that team?
No, I don't have much faith in Olsen, to be perfectly frank.
All right. And then when you go down, Gesicki, 34, Ben Watson, short.
Yeah, sure.
Ben Watson at $3,100. Dallas sucks against tight ends. If this game is going to be super like windy, it's a low ADOT game, that would strike me as a game where Ben Watson would be highly
I believe
involved.
he's played 75% plus of the snaps the last 3 weeks.
And that's with LaCostitute being back.
yeah,
We got Mimi in the chat and the LaCostitute on the field for the Patriots.
talking about tight ends.
Dawson Knox against Denver at $3,000. What's he losing about?
I had a very
Great
basic
joke
joke.
there.
Oh, I missed it.
I just said we're talking about tight ends. You
Yeah.
lost it.
Nice. Foster Moreau, Nick O'Leary, like you can go down there. But I think I would make a rotation of Knox and Watson if I was going down. Hollister and the guy right below him, Ryan Griffin, if I was going to go in that mid tier. But
Yeah.
Tim hits the point. Everyone is stacking when you look at the ownership. The one game this week, I guess there's 2 games that people are stacking. People are stacking the Atlanta and Tampa Bay game.
Yep.
Justifiably. Although Atlanta's defense being good, I can see this being an under.
Who's
Just-
cheaper this week, Godwin or
Look,
Evans?
it has
That's
to
what I'm
end
saying.
at some point, but we're now talking about 9 consecutive Tampa Bay games that have gone over the number.
It's the only game projected over 47.5 points on this main slate. And that other game, I mean, no, for over 46 points, because that 47.5 is the Sunday nighter now.
a lot
Carolina
of falling
Saints,
numbers.
people are going after just because they like all the pieces, very clear pieces of that game.
Yeah.
So McCaffrey, Kamara, Michael Thomas, Drew Brees.
Yeah, the hierarchy in that game
DJ
is
Moore.
very, very obvious.
No Marshawn Lattimore, by the way.
Yep.
Now my voice is going. But Russell Wilson Seahawks stack. Not being played anywhere, apparently.
Sure.
Why not just do that? Are people freaked out that Philly's a favorite in this game for unknown reasons? And that Vegas is really backing the Eagles here?
I think
Yeah,
it's
I like the Eagle tier a lot. I would stack it Eagles way, but either way.
I think it's too difficult to figure out who to stack for the Eagles. What do? You do Wentz,
Yeah.
Ertz, and,
Sanders.
Or do you just do Ertz and Wentz and just
I guess that
call
would
it a
just be
day?
the stack, yeah.
And then
You
come
could
back
bring it
with
back
somebody on
with Lockett, or you could bring it back with
Lockett is almost like Barkley at the very high end of running back this week. Lockett is the high end receiver no one's using, who smashes every single week.
Yeah, I mean, so is on the same of the same place. Just looking at the lineups this week too, I don't think I see a lot of people talking about Amari Cooper either, who's also in a pretty decent spot if he doesn't get Gilmore.
Is he in a
one-on-one.
decent spot?
A hurt Amari Cooper in a windy game against the Patriots? That doesn't sound great. How is that a good spot?
He's
Please
also
explain.
just, I mean, look, sometimes the home road splits don't make a lot of sense. There's a clear reason for the correlation of why Amari Cooper is just so good playing on the turf in Dallas. Like, he likes the fast track. This is not a good spot for Amari Cooper.
It's turf in New England as well.
I'm not.
Okay, fair enough.
I will at least say this. You are right in the sense that Amari Cooper is a high ceiling option at wide receiver that very few people are going to use. So, in a tournament, sure, that could be a differentiating piece. I just don't think that's the one I want to use this week.
5 highest owned wide receivers this week. Who do you think the projections have?
I'm gonna say Julio's in there.
Julio by far.
Edelman?
No.
I would assume
Really?
Evans.
Evans number 5.
What else?
Odell number 2.
Odell number
Who's
2.
the play of the week?
Probably still Ridley.
Ridley number 3.
Um,
Michael Thomas number 4.
Michael Thomas. Okay,
And Devontae Parker number 5.
that's 6 guys, though, isn't it?
Sorry, number 6.
Six,
Devontae
okay.
Parker. So if you're just sorting by like raw fantasy
seems
points, Lockett projects out 4th in fantasy points with a projected ownership of 4%.
Is Parker just that high because people are looking to bring it back? Probably, right?
I think people have just seen how good Parker has been. He's too cheap.
Sure. Just the Browns' pass defense since they got their corners back has been very good.
But he's been sort of immune. He was covered by Tre'Davious White last week. He had a good week.
Sure.
I think that's what people are looking at in this matchup.
I guess not. Again, I thought he was a good play. I'm just surprised he's that high. It just seemed like maybe one of those reasons is people are bringing back their Chubb.
Other low-owned wide receivers above $6,000 this week. So I said Lockett projects to be very lowly owned. John Brown, don't love that. I have a few Driscoll, Kenny Golladay
I was going to say
lineups.
Golladay really seems
Sure.
to stand out.
I don't love it, but let's go. I'm playing Driscoll.
Driskmania seems to like Marv.
No,
in
he's
the red zone.
Driscolli.
Oh, he's
Well,
Driscoll.
enjoy it for one more week because he's not playing on Thanksgiving.
You really think that the Lions and their future, and you've projected the Lions to win the Super Bowl next year when they
I
have
don't get that.
a healthy Matt Stafford. The guy has a broken back. I don't think that we're going to see him again this year. Why would you play him?
I think they're going to play him next week on Thanksgiving.
Broken back, Tim.
People can. Well, I don't. It's not like a broken back, like Peggy Hill falling out of an airplane. Like he's injured, but he was questionable all week. They thought he might play this week.
At any point, did it seem like he was going to play this week?
No.
No.
It seemed like when he got ruled out of that game, he was for some reason a game time decision for it. Was like, if he doesn't play in this game, he's out for 5 weeks.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand the point. Like, especially when it comes to something like back injuries, where stuff like back surgery is like, it's a dicey proposition. It's not like ACL surgery where you get it and you're fine afterwards, unless apparently you're Alex Smith. But have you been reading about that story?
No. I just assumed it was.
He's like 22 surgeries in now because they keep fucking it up.
Jesus.
Well, they even said when he had the injury, like he might never play again. Like it was that severe.
Yeah,
of
I
an
just
injury.
thought it was like a Theismann-esque injury. Where it was
It was, but apparently the Skins medical staff, not great.
not shocking.
Yeah, they're not good.
But in terms of like back surgeries, you don't really know how this stuff is going to fuse. Like even if you're dealing with minuscule broken bones, if there was something to play for, yeah, maybe you play through it. But there's nothing to play for in Detroit. You're bringing him back for the chance of him getting re-injured.
Okay, but you're not going to bench a guy when he's healthy for 6 weeks. You're just never going to do that in the pros.
He's not healthy. He has a fucking broken
Yeah,
back.
it's- What?
I'm just saying, as soon as he's ready to play, he's going to play.
Yeah,
The
But
Lions
he
are-
might not be ready to play this season.
that's the whole thing.
Like if he doesn't have something, if he doesn't have a surgery to fix his back, this is the kind of injury that's not just going to get better by sitting on a couch for a month.
Yeah, you'd have to sit on a couch for like 8 months. Let the bones heal. DK Metcalf, 3% ownership. DJ Chark, 4% ownership.
That seems like a mistake.
That's the one, right?
That seems like a mistake.
What about Cortland Sutton, 4% ownership?
I mean, look, like you just brought up, we found out last week that in a script where Tre'Davious White might not have to play press coverage up a bunch of points, you can beat this Bills defense with a talented wide receiver one, and he's going to have the volume share. I think it's like a 27% target share the last 3 weeks. I think though that Chark is just such, especially if he's going to be 5% owned. I just can't see myself getting off a Chark.
Yeah, and he has the better matchup against Tennessee. You want to hit the edges against Tennessee and stay away from the slot. That's who has been lighting them up all season long. Golden Tate was the other one, 2% owned.
I guess with Shepard back, it's kind of tough to figure out how the.
But we
the
think
target
that
share's
he
gonna
runs
break down.
these shorter A-dot routes, right?
Sure,
And
he
again-
could be their faux tight end.
But again, as the Bears defense is constructed, better against the intermediate and deeper passes, bad underneath. Again, the running back catching out of the backfield, short A-dot throws, and running the ball, that would just seem Barkley, Tate, like that sort of route.
I guess for me, I see that game. And again, I think the Bears are susceptible to the run, but I also think the Giants' offensive line is terrible. I think this is a game where we could actually see Khalil Mack. I know he's been kind of dormant the last month.
Could you play the Giants, D?
No, see, I wouldn't. I think this is a game we see David Montgomery get like 25 carries. I just think the Bears control this thing.
25 carries, you
I
say.
actually like David Montgomery this week.
Well, let's talk about some props then.
Sure.
Is he
60 and a half yards seems very low.
60 and a half yards against the Giants?
In the games they have won. So they've won 4 games, and they've also had, in those 4 games, he's averaged 19 touches. And that's not including that game against the Chargers they should have won, where he touched the ball 31 times. When they are in a positive script, it is very clear that they just want to give the ball to David Montgomery and not let Mitch do anything. And I think for as hard as it is to say the Bears are ever like for sure going to win a game, the Giants are terrible. They should be able to just dominate this game with Montgomery in their defense. So I like that prop at 60 and a half.
It's 66. No, that is Saquon Barkley. You could have Barkley 66
That's
and a
also
half.
very low, yeah.
That's one run for him.
Yeah.
Unless he gets 1 yard again. That wouldn't be good. Was it 1 yard or 1 yard per carry?
No, it was 1 yard. He's right. It was 1 yard.
That's so bad. So the two that I have out right now, Alan Hearns over 2.5 catches, Ryan Griffin over 2.5 catches.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think both those are pretty
Still
good.
playing plus money. No, it's minus one.
Minus 125.
Yeah.
You play those two together, it's plus 218 though. Tim, what were the props that you liked?
There weren't many out there. So, longest field goal scored. One of the very few things in the NFL where wind and weather actually matters is kicking. So I'm going to take the under on 45.5 longest field goal in Dallas, New England.
Okay.
I am going to take the under in Nick Foles passing yards. This does not strike me as a sort of matchup that Foles is going to tear up the Titans.
Didn't you just say like
You say you like
10 minutes ago
Foles,
that
10
you
minutes.
considered Foles as a quarterback this week?
I think he's an interesting play. I think that's too many yards. 256.
They've given up 327 yards their last 4 games.
I understand.
I'm just telling you what's happened.
No, that's fair enough. I still think it's too many yards.
Okay.
I think there's a little bit of value on the under.
Too many yards.
This is a bit of a long shot, but it's just playing to game script and the fact that the Seahawks play weirdo games. Will there be a successful 2-point convert in Hawks Eagles? I say yes, and you get plus 333 on your money there.
Trying to find this longest field there. Time of first field goal scored. Whoa, that's
Just break it down to like 750s.
that's getting kind of dicey in there. I'll take under 45 and a half in that game too. So now Hearns, Griffin under 45 and a half. We're almost up to 5 to 1.
What's our show prop here?
What do you got?
So I'm going to take Montgomery over 60 and a half.
Montgomery over 60 and a half. No, I gotta go look that up because we can only have one from each game in order to make the parlay.
Right.
Remember that. You like the Montgomery one better than the Barkley one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Barkley could have 150 yards from scrimmage, but he might be more involved in the pass.
David
game.
Montgomery rushing attempts over 16 and a half.
Yeah, you could do that one too, or as opposed to the 60. I think New York's run defense is pretty terrible.
Okay, over 60 and a half it is.
Do we have one for the Jets Oakland game? Because I do like.
I
that
had Ryan Griffin.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was.
I
that
would
was one
take
I'd seen
that's
too.
fair. I would take the over in Crowder receptions where I asked to choose, but
What's that? 4.5. 4.5 does seem low, but
It is,
I
but
just
you're
think
paying a little bit more juice to get it.
Griffin
Like,
has been so hyper involved as their lone tight end.
But if you like Tyrell
Williams,
Williams, you're getting even money to bet over 3.5 on Tyrell Williams.
I don't hate that either.
Yeah.
I mean, Demaryius Thomas has hit his over receiving prop now 7 of the past 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They refuse to make it any higher. That's been actual free money.
But how could you?
I don't know. He keeps going over.
At some
Yeah,
point,
it's
should
41 and a half
probably
again.
adjust.
Like, do you find it shocking he's outscored Robbie Anderson this year?
No, because Robbie's a big play guy, right? And he's always been that way. And they understand that they need to limit. I mean, it's harder to hit those deep passes. That's all.
So we have
So I'm not shocked.
Hearns, Griffin, under 45 and a half, longest field
The
goal.
field goal prop?
Patriots. I feel like we're missing some.
I'm looking at kicker props because I feel like we always get to the bar and realize we haven't found a good kicker
Yeah, we
prop.
haven't bet on Zane Gonzalez. What are we doing?
I will say Hauschka's under 7 points. It's only 6.5. And he hit that in the first quarter last week. Should we go back to Hausch money?
Oh, that's so much house money. I could see this game being even lower scoring. Like, I could see this game being like 13-7.
Okay.
Although in that scenario, he would hit the over.
Not if it was all safeties.
That's true. Safeties. 6 safeties in a rouge.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite Grey Cup prop?
Oh, God. No, how dare you? How
Didn't
dare
watch
you?
it.
Yeah, you didn't watch the Wednesday
you didn't
show,
watch
did
the
you?
show.
Oh no.
Ban him.
I'll leave if you want me
You're
to.
banned for life.
Oh.
Oh, now I'm mad again. CFL gets me so low.
Yeah.
So low.
Well, it's pretty low.
Well,
Think about all those jabronis who are
Over-
going to be at the bar today
it's okay. We'll be gone by then.
with their leather baseball caps.
all the Hammers. The Hammers got to win the Grey Cup, though.
Oh, and drive to fucking
Bunch
Hamilton
of
and watch them
beauties,
in there.
eh?
That's my best upper Canadian accent.
Driscoll over 24 and a half rushing yards.
I was looking at that too. It's
what
it's
is
suddenly sort of high. You know what's funny? I know we can't bet this because we like the Hearns prop, and I think the Hearns prop is the way to go.
Fitzmagic?
10.5 yards seems low. He's beaten that 3 of his last 5 weeks. And he's attempted at least 4 rushes in 4 of the last 5 weeks.
I'm trying to find it here because I've been noticing this because we've been watching so many Bucks games. Jameis has rushed for
He
over
has been
20
running a
yards
lot.
in 3 of the past 4 games.
What's his rushing prop?
I don't know. Maybe that's the way to target that game. So we can throw one more on here. We get up to like 20-1.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't make much sense is that Godwin is minus 125 to go under 5.5 catches, but Evans is plus 110 to go under 5.5 catches. I find that to be a bit curious. There shouldn't be that kind of disparity.
Well, that's just people betting on it. That's all that is.
I know. I think that's strange. I think that at that point, there's just value to say, okay, it's going to be a Godwin week, not an Evans week, because there's nothing that allows you to predict which is which.
They're not offering Jameis rushing yards. So we want to play that. Those are the 4 that we're playing.
Oh, I like
Are
it.
we missing one?
Hearns, Griffin, under field goal, David Montgomery, over 60.5 rushing yards.
I like it.
$40 bet pays $420.
Perfect.
Bet the farm, win 10 farms.
Let's do it. It pays actually like $9.55 or something like that. All right. Everyone needs to smash the like button. 146 likes. That means we have like a minute left in this show. So,
Oh my God, is that all the likes?
yeah. People
Good
aren't
God.
people aren't liking the show.
Well, you know what? Good for then. You know what? They don't have to have the show.
Yeah, I agree. If you don't want to like the show, then
Go watch your Grey Cup pregame coverage if you'd rather do that. Then
Super 7, Tim, what do you got?
okay. Glad you asked me because I just plugged them in. New York Giants. I just hadn't done it yet. New York Giants +6. New York Jets +3. Detroit -3.5. Packers +3.5. That's our super lock. +2 on the Hawks. I don't like that pick, but that's the betting partner's choice. -6.5 for the Steelers. That definitely comes in. And +4 with the Broncos. That definitely comes in.
Yeah, I have Pittsburgh as my lock at -6.5. What did I pick on the pick show as my super lock? I can't even
I think
remember.
you picked Indianapolis.
Well,
I think.
that turned out well because that won.
Or Jeff did. One of you two did.
I did bet that game. I lost on my Jonathan Williams prop, but I won on
They
Indianapolis.
just kept giving him the ball.
Yeah. I was with you on that prop, but
They did just keep giving him like he's going for 2 yards a carry. They just keep
As-
giving it.
as-
He got
Start-
barraged.
on
But
the
he
third play of the game when he caught a pass out of the backfield on like a 3rd and 6, it was like, oh,
But he started
that's bad
the game
news
with
with this under.
a -5 yard rush.
Yeah. So I have Pittsburgh -6.5 is my lock in the Super 7. Chicago 6.5. Cleveland 10.5 -10.5. Carolina +9.5. Green Bay +3.5. Jacksonville +3. Detroit -3.5. If we do just a quick check in on the numbers for the games right now. In terms of betting percentage, the single biggest bet side of the week in terms of money handle is what, Tim?
I would say Patriots.
No. That's like 50-50.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dallas is a pretty public team.
All right, then if it's not that, then I guess the world is probably betting on Detroit.
No.
The
So
Saints?
the three biggest ones, Falcons -3.5
yeah.
is the largest.
That's deadly.
Titans -3.5 over
That's
the
also
Jags.
deadly.
And Seahawks +1 against the Eagles.
I like. The
I
Eagles
can see
so
that
much.
at least.
I like the Eagles
I
as
like
well.
the Eagles so
The fact
much
that
in that
public,
game.
the fact that the public are all on the Falcons, that is such a terrible sort of bait and switch. Oh, I believe in them now. Oh, they just lost by 35 points.
Now that's money I'm talking about, like
Oh, I
overall
know.
money bet on the game. In terms of actual like bets, like tickets placed on one side of a game, we have 80% on the Saints, 78 on the Falcons, 84 on the Lions, 86 on the Seahawks.
I got to get the Buccaneers in this now. That's just desperate. That's desperate. Oh no,
I don't disagree.
poor the people. They're gonna get wamboozled.
Oh, good. We're up to 272 likes now. So that means I can end. the
Still not
show.
enough. Like
I agree with you. It's definitely not enough likes. However, we will be starting the question and answer period. From this point on, if you put a question into the chat, we will get to it. I want to say goodbye to all the audio listeners out there, because where we cut off the audio podcast part of the show. If you want to go listen to it on demand, even if you don't want to listen, just go download. I can use those downloads. And if you want to get into a draw for $50 DK, remember, go subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show. You're in a draw for $50 DK. And if you want to get in the draw for $20 DK, if you're watching the video right now, smash the like button for the video. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not the live chat. If you leave it in the live chat, you are banned for life. You leave it in the comment section, you can be in the draw for $20 DK. Tell me who your slate breaker is going to be in Week 12 on DraftKings. iTunes listeners, I'll see you tomorrow. Questions? Are you ready
Yes.
for some chubby rain?
What a movie.
My name is Kit. Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together. I'm not keeping it together.
Was that the last great?
Eddie Murphy?
Well, I was gonna say Steve Martin movie.
Well, Dreamgirls, he was nominated for an Oscar. And that was nominated for 12 Oscars.
Yeah, which is why I'm more curious about Steve Martin.
Last good Steve Martin movie? Maybe.
It might be.
Because Shop Girl's not very good.
No.
Has Jason Schwartzman, who I don't like.
I could see you not liking Jason Schwartzman.
He irks me. I liked him in Rushmore, but
Yeah.
he's just that guy in every movie.
He is a very one-note actor. You are correct.
And he was in that show with Dancing on HBO, the Private Dick show.
Oh yeah.
Not great. Just real
No,
weird.
that wasn't good.
More weird than good.
Yeah. Bad ratio.
All right. Jose Angel Lopez Verestegui. I don't think that's how you actually pronounce his last name. I got the first three right.
Sure.
Pick two, please. James Washington, Hunter Renfro, Sonny Michel, or Darius Don Geis. Full point PPR.
That's a good question.
full point BPR, Geis.
It's pick two.
And
I'll go Washington and Renfro.
Go
gonna
Washington
say-
and Geis.
Renfro and Geis.
See, I like what this guy
No love for Sony.
So, Tim, start coming up with the ideas of how people get banned for life. You've been pretty good today. So, you get 3 bans for life.
Oh. Should we go over the rules? We didn't go over the rules.
We haven't gone over the rules, but this guy's Howard. I like this Howard guy. He says, "Who doesn't like this show? Bring him to me. I'll take care of him."
Oh. Is that the prostitute?
That's Howard the Enforcer. He's in the chat.
Well, either way.
Imagine watching the show and not giving it likes.
I don't understand people who do this, either watch a regular show or this show. It's like, I hate you. I watch you every week.
You
I don't understand
Oh,
that
you
mentality.
100% hate watch things. I can guarantee
wouldn't
more than
then-
any person I know, you would watch something distinctly for the reason of hating it and being able to talk
But then
about
I
it
don't
later.
write in and say, I hate you. I watch you every week.
Yeah. Like someone this week told me that they hope I get cancer.
That
That
was
was
having a rough week with these comments.
I know. People are like really
That
coming
one
after
from 2
me.
weeks ago was nuts.
I don't listen. You can make as much fun as me as you want and say hateful things. I don't really care.
Sure, but it was like
The essay about how someone was going to come to my house and kill me. I didn't really enjoy that one.
No.
Just because there was a lot of thought put into it that it seemed like a crazy person.
or maps.
But generally speaking, as long as you don't bring my family into it, I don't really care.
That seems like the great divide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazier than that crazy person who gave me that handwritten manifesto that I gave you to read?
I still have that.
I bet you do.
What was that from?
Some crazy person on the subway that Tim met. He gave him his manifesto.
I feel like Tim could spend all day
Handwritten.
on a Toronto subway talking.
No,
to
this was in
people.
Calgary on the C train. But anyway, yeah, wishing me cancer. I don't want to get cancer. That's something you should wish on someone.
No, that's awful. And I get a lot of terrible Twitter responses too. I had this week in particular, but nothing that bad.
I feel like people are just more mean to you.
They
You're
are,
like,
but
your
you know
takes
what?
are, your takes
I
are
don't
so
care.
bad, Tim. No, I get that you don't care.
Yeah, people last week saying that as people saw on Twitter, it was going around this week as a meme of you to put your worst food take, and I gave it, and people are like, "That's not even the worst take you've given this
Well,
week."
they're not being mean to you. That's just correct.
I don't know about that.
Like they're accurate with that. When you said that hot water is better in cereal
Oh,
than
God,
milk, like that
yeah.
is the single worst take anyone's ever had on the internet.
How is
Have you ever had shredded wheat? That's how you eat shredded wheat.
What are you,
for-
98
No
years
one
old?
eats shredded wheat. Second,
I do.
Your whole thing is like how you want to add spoonful by spoonful to not get something soggy. I would imagine putting any sort of cereal directly into hot water, it just evaporates.
No. It depends. Like, shredded wheat, you need to
A
make fuzzy.
ridiculous
You
take.
can't eat it otherwise.
Hit us with the rules of the chat. Paul,
First,
can I grab a coffee, please?
if you mention Mark Ingram's name in any way, shape, or form, or even allude to him, you're banned for life.
Yep.
If you start answering other people's questions in the chat, you are banned for life.
Mhm.
If you are asking questions about pickups or drops for next week or going forward, you are banned for life.
Trades included.
Yeah, trades. I think trading deadline's over now, so that's why I didn't say trades.
Okay.
If you try to spam the chat with question after question after question again of the same, you are banned for life. What else is there? What am I missing?
I think that's everything.
If you ask a question with more than 5 players, only Pat will answer it.
Wow.
This is the wrong format for that type of question. If you use somebody's
we
just
go.
last name, we will assume the worst person. So if you say Jones, we will think you mean Zay Jones, not Julio Jones.
Yeah, but you think that Zay Jones is better than Julio Jones?
No, I don't actually.
Thank you. Okay.
But anyway,
All right.
those are the rules. Don't break them.
Foles or Driscoll?
Or get banned.
Foles or Driscoll? I like Driscoll.
Driscoll.
Driscoll. I like them both though,
Is Nick? You just said
you-
you didn't
no,
like
you
Nick
don't.
Foles.
for DFS purposes.
One sec. I'm doing it this week.
Do it.
Yeah, make the Tim
I'm
flow chart.
keeping
of-
track of these rankings.
Oh, but is Jared Goff number 1 again this week, Tim?
No, I have learned my lesson. Although I do like the Rams a lot tomorrow night.
Is N'Keal Harry worth a punt at 3.3K? I don't think so.
No,
It wouldn't
this
be
doesn't
at
seem like the game.
1.3K.
I'd rather play Jacoby Myers if I was going to play
Yeah.
one of those guys.
I just think he's got
Agreed.
more established role.
I mean, I'd rather play Ben Watson, who's even cheaper.
That is true.
Eh.
Sit 1. John Brown, Michael Gallup, Devin Singletary.
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 6-point passing touchdowns. Dak Prescott or Baker Mayfield?
Mayfield.
I think I'd take Baker.
Baker.
There could be a scenario where this Dallas New England game is just a shootout.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but like
Both teams have
No,
pretty
you're-
presentable
I would say
defenses.
there's like a 30% chance
Yeah.
that happens.
otherwise it's like 10-3 or something, but it could
That's
be
what
like
I'm thinking.
40 to
Last week-
35.
Because also Brady was ruled questionable at one point this week with a
Oh,
hood
don't even get
elbow.
started
So
on
now,
that.
so now it'll be this great
We're
story
in
about how
question
we,
and answer period, Tim. You can't have a 20-minute diatribe about the
That's why I
Patriots
said
injury
don't
report.
get me started on that.
Yeah, but it seems like you're already started. You're
No,
already
I
getting
don't.
vamped up.
What's another word for getting started? Triggered.
I mean, we were talking about him hate watching things. He hate watches the Patriots
That is a good
literally every Sunday for the last.
And just so we
his
all know where
entire
we
life.
stand currently, right now we have Baker 1, Dak 2, Foles Driscoll tied for 3.
Tied for 3. Golden Tate, Tyrell Williams, Ronald Jones, or Debo need 2. I think
Williams,
Tyrell for
definitely.
sure. What's that?
Tyrell
Williams,
and
definitely.
Debo. Tyrell and Debo.
I'll say Tyrell and Tate.
Yeah, Tate.
John Brown or Scorin McLaurin?
McLaurin.
I take Brown. Lockett, Gallup, David Montgomery. Take Lockett.
Lockett.
Lock it. Yep.
The guy who's like the top 5
Yeah.
receiver. Take that guy. Oh,
Are we sure that wasn't a sit one?
no,
Okay,
that's what it says.
it's a good team.
Yeah. Yeah. Flex 1. It's a flex spot, too.
Damn.
It's pretty good.
Yo, two-man league sounds fun.
In-date DK values, would you rather use Allen Hurns or N'Keal Harry? I'd rather use Hurns.
Burns.
Jalen Samuels, Gallup, or Debo Samuel, half-point PPR. Play Gallup. It's
I
Gallup,
agree.
It's Gallup or Debo.
Gallup.
Full point PPR, pick 3. So sit 2 of these guys. Lockett, Julio, Edelman, John Brown, Devontae Parker. I think you just play the first 3.
Yeah,
Lockett,
Yeah,
Julio,
that's the
Edelman.
last two.
Sit the
Yeah.
last two.
Kareem Hunt or Debo PPR. I play Kareem Hunt.
Kareem.
Agreed.
Need a tight end and a flex. Hollister, Ryan Griffin, Sterling Shepard, Latavius Murray. I'd play both tight ends.
Yep.
No, I would play Murray and Hollister.
Okay. You really hate Ryan Griffin, don't you?
No, I don't think he's that good.
So many touchdowns for Ryan Griffin today. Miles Sanders or Curtis Samuel PPR. I'd play Samuel.
Samuel.
Agreed.
Waller or Kittle.
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 Here's another example of a question that gets you banned for life. Is Josh Gordon a bad play?
Well, ban him.
Banned for he's banned for life.
I am curious though. Tim, is Josh Gordon a bad play?
No, he's not a bad play. He's a reasonable play.
Okay.
In the right circumstance.
Versus what?
Exactly, right? It's a question that can't really be answered fully.
Jameis.
Philosophical.
Tim, would you play Jameis or Wentz?
I would play Jameis.
Would you play Jameis or Dak?
I would play Jameis.
Would you play Baker or Jameis?
I would play Jameis.
Would you play Wentz or Dak?
I would play Prescott.
Would you play Foles or Dak?
I would play Prescott.
Would you play Wentz or Driscoll?
Oh, I would play. It's very close. I would. It's very close, but I would play.
You can tie it if you want.
I play Driscoll, but it's very close.
Okay.
Would you play Wentz or Baker?
I would play Wentz. No, I would play.
So Wentz goes from last on your list to first on your list.
No, I would play. I would play Mayfield, I suppose.
We got a good one coming up here too. Alshon, Michael Gallup, or John Brown. Play Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play Alshon. Nothing's been happier for me than Alshon not being healthy in my lineup, so I don't have to play him.
Baker or Carr?
Mayfield.
Would you play Carr or Wentz?
I would play Carr.
Would you play Carr or Jameis?
I would play Jameis. Jameis is very high on my list.
Okay. Rodgers or Darnold?
I would choose Darnold. Niners defense is just too stout.
Okay. Would you play Aaron Rodgers or Carson Wentz?
I would play Rodgers.
Rodgers. Would you play, let's say, Foles or Aaron Rodgers?
I would play Rodgers.
Would you play Rodgers or Carr?
I would play Rodgers, but
Okay.
not by
Would you play Rodgers or Dak?
Prescott.
Okay.
Would you play Darnold or Dak?
I'd play Sam.
Would you play Darnold or Baker?
This week I would play Mayfield.
Would you play Jameis or Darnold?
I would play Jameis. There, other than like Matt Ryan, I don't know who I'm playing over Jameis.
So Matt Ryan's number 1 for you this week?
He and Wilson, 1-1A. Play them in the order you want.
Okay. Allen Robinson, John Brown, or Jarvis Landry? Jarvis Landry. Revenge game.
Revenge game, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Jared Cook or Goddard? This guy's banned for life.
Oh yeah, people don't remember that. Cook is also one of the unmentionables. If you do that,
Hollister or Griffin? Hollister.
Hollister.
Waller or Montgomery?
Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery.
Cameron Brate or Vance Refrigeration?
Great. I'm just
Vance.
not playing that.
I play Vance. Josh Reynolds or Alan Hearns? Alan Hearns.
Reynolds.
He's not going to play this week.
It doesn't seem like Woods is.
Has he?
Woods appears like he's going to be out.
Oh, I thought he was on track to play.
Thing is, the Rams are going to score a lot of points, so points have to come from somewhere.
So would you play
Yeah,
Goff?
where's Goff?
Would
this
you play
week?
Goff or Darnold?
Oh God, I would play Goff.
Okay. Would you play Goff or Baker?
Mayfield.
Okay.
It seems like you're really trying to curse Mayfield here.
No, it's a reasonably good matchup, but I think both teams are actually quite bad, so lots of points could be scored.
Sutton or Devontae Parker?
Sutton.
I played Devontae Parker.
Yeah, Parker.
Geis or Mostart with no Breda?
I like
Cur-
guys.
Colonel Mostart.
I think Geis.
Play Geis as well. Should I start Sam Darnold or Ryan Tannehill, Tim?
Oh, Darnold, to be sure.
Ryan Tannehill or Baker?
I would play Mayfield.
Ryan Tannehill or Dak?
I would play Prescott.
Aaron Rodgers or
Rodgers.
Wentz or Tannehill?
Tannehill.
Wentz or Foles?
It's very close. I would play Foles, but it's very close.
Okay. Pick one, full point PPR. No, this isn't a real question. Josh Allen or Carson Wentz?
I'm off the Josh Allen bandwagon, but I guess I would still play.
After his best game of the season?
I don't think he's as good as people think he is. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think anyone thinks he's good. I think people just think he's a good fantasy play because he is.
I don't know. I guess I'd play him over Wentz.
Okay, would you play him over Tannehill?
No, I would not.
So you play Tannehill. Okay.
I think so.
I would play Josh Allen in that.
I would also play Josh
Griffin
Allen.
or Noah Fant. I would play Ryan Griffin,
No,
actually.
Fant.
play
Griffin's not
Fant.
that. Griffin's not good. He will do nothing. I don't like him.
Okay, that's
He shouldn't be
extreme.
there. He's a waste of money. Anyway, he shouldn't be there.
I just don't
We have good
I
players.
get
Why
why he's
waste
doing
him?
this, but I also whatever.
Oh, Nick Foles or Driscoll, season long. I'd play Driscoll.
I
Season
would also play
long.
Driscoll, yeah.
Yeah, I would play Driscoll season long.
Oh, this guy just said Mark Ingram. Just be banned for life. Cobb or Dede in a tournament. I like Cobb better.
Yep.
I don't like Dede this week. Amari Cooper or DK Metcalf. Play Metcalf.
Metcalf.
No, Cooper.
Cooper or Telvin Coleman. I'll play Coleman.
Coleman.
Cooper.
Renfro or Gallup.
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 Emmanuel Sanders, Debo Samuel, or Jamison Crowder. Play Crowder.
Crowder. Yeah.
Sanders, but very close.
Geis, Mixon, Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt. Pick two.
Mixon
and Hunt.
Hunt.
Mixon and Hunt. John Brown, Galladay.
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 James White or Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt.
White. Always
Kareem-
White.
Kareem Hunt is the good version of James White now.
James White is the good version of any pass catching running back.
James White is the best at scoring 11 DraftKings points a week.
But Kareem Hunt is actually just doing what all hope James White does.
I
every
agree.
week.
You take Kareem Hunt here.
Driscoll or Dak. I play Driscoll.
I would play Prescott.
I play Dak.
Darnold or Wentz.
I would play Darnold.
Sam. Yeah.
I would too. Michelle or McLaurin. I play McLaurin.
McLaurin at PPR.
Barkley or Mixon. I play Barkley.
Yes.
Yes, but very close. I don't think.
Why would that be close?
Because I don't think Barkley. If the Jets can bottle you up for 1 yard, despite our really good run defense, I don't know. Mixon played well last week. There's going to be a ton of running from the Bengals. I could see Mixon having the better day, but I will take Barkley.
Prescott or Mayfield. I play Baker.
Baker.
Yeah, I would take Mayfield.
Half point. Tyrell Williams or Crowder. Play Crowder.
Crowder.
Full point PPR. Samuels or Hunt.
Yeah.
Samuel.
James White or Jalen Samuels.
James White.
I play James White there.
I play Samuels.
Chris Carson, Amari Cooper, or Tevin Coleman PPR. I would play Chris Carson.
Carson in that spot.
Metcalf, Singletary, John Brown, Standard.
Metcalf.
Probably play Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf.
Julio or Lockett. Julio.
Yeah, Jones.
Curtis Samuel or Sterling Shepard. Samuel. Carr or Brady.
Carr
for me.
Carr.
Baker, Driscoll, Darnold. Driscoll.
Baker.
McLaurin or Bo Scarborough. Standard league.
Standard?
McLaurin. Bo's had one good game. Be calm.
But he was good in college. I saw his highlights.
No, he wasn't just good in college. He was exceptional in college.
I'll go
Well, shouldn't that make him even better?
No, it's disturbing that he hasn't been as good as he could have been.
Isn't this
We
like the
have a
first time
friend-
he's ever played in the
Yeah,
NFL
he's-
last week?
We have a friend who loves Bo Scarborough.
That was like the first game he was ever active last week, I believe.
He played for Dallas once or twice last year.
Here's a question. Do you play one guy or the same guy? Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb? They're
I
the
would
same,
play Chubb.
They're the same player now.
It's true.
Okay, but if you were obliged to pick, I'll pick Chubb.
I would play Henry.
I'd play
this
Chubb.
game.
I think there's a little bit more receiving value.
I don't think there is. Not with Kareem Hunt. I think there's more receiving value with Derrick Henry now.
Wasn't I told that Hunt wasn't going to matter and that we should just always play Chubb at the start of the year?
Chubb,
And that-
Chubb, Chubb is still a top
Yeah,
10
he's
play.
still perfectly
It's just he
fine.
does nothing in the He's now Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Who's a top 10 play. No further
I
comment.
said
on
okay.
that?
I said okay.
Curtis Samuel or Debo? What does Debo do with Sanders and Kittle back?
Not much.
Lots or nothing?
Five targets.
Not much. They're up against
I
a
don't-
darn good defense.
Again, at the end of the day, they still want to run the ball more than they pass it.
So Samuel?
Yeah.
Westbrook or Adrian Peterson?
Westbrook, because it is not an AP week.
Yeah, Westbrook.
Yeah. Wentz or Jimmy G?
Oh,
I take
Oof.
Jimmy G.
I would take Garoppolo too.
I'm gonna take Wentz.
Jimmy G or Nick Foles, Tim?
I guess I would take Garoppolo.
Jimmy G or Dak?
I would take Prescott.
Okay.
Jamal
about-
Williams or Sony Michel? I'd actually play Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I would too.
Parker or Chark? Chark.
Chark.
Gallup, Lindsey, McLaurin, or Mixon? Lindsey.
Yes.
Nixon.
Geis or Devontae Parker?
Parker.
Latavius Murray, Jalen Samuels, Debo Samuel, or Latavius Murray, Jalen Samuels, Miles Sanders, or Debo Samuels start two?
Jalen and
I'd go Samuel.
Miles.
I'd go Debo and Miles Sanders.
I would
I'd go
Miles
Miles
Sanders.
No, I'd go
and
Jalen Samuels and Debo Samuel.
Okay, I'd go
Jalen
Jalen.
Samuel and Lamar and Latavius.
I'd go Jalen and Miles.
Okay. Debo or John Brown? John Brown.
Brown.
This guy is saying things that aren't questions. So banned for life.
See ya.
Pretty good. Not as many egregious comments or questions as
Yeah,
usual.
but what are the likes at though?
The likes are only at 365. So we're
They
setting up
need to get
shop
up
here.
to we need to get to 400 in the next couple of minutes.
No, we need to get 400 in the next couple of minutes. We don't get to 450 by 4 minutes from now. I'm shutting it down.
You'd rather
Emmanuel,
write on.
Emmanuel Sanders, Darius Geis, Singletary, non-PPR. I think I would just play Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alshon, Cooks, Shepard, James Washington. I just rolled the dice with Cooks.
Yeah. Me too.
I would too.
Allen Robinson, John Brown, Jarvis Landry.
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 It's Landry or Brown for me.
Yeah.
Hollywood or Alshon? Ugh, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood.
D.D. Westbrook or Chris Conley? Go with Chris Conley.
Yes.
Yep.
Robert Woods or McLaurin?
I don't think Woods is going to play.
Yes,
Woods
Woods
not
is
gonna
probably
play,
not
yeah.
going to play. McLaurin. Green Bay D or 49ers D? Play 49ers D. They get to the quarterback better.
I would play Packers D. I'm picking them to win, so
That doesn't necessarily mean they score more fantasy points.
No, it doesn't. But I think the Packers should be able to sack Jimmy G.
Take the team who take the team with the better pass rush. Always in this sense, who has better pass
And
rush?
Packers don't have a bad pass rush, but you're right.
But
San Francisco has the best.
The best pass rush.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon or Sterling Shepard? Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Kareem Hunt, Ronald Jones, Miles Sanders, Geis, Sony Michel. It's a question for me only. Pick one non-PPR. Still play Kareem Hunt. Would you rather Russell Wilson and Hollister or Foles and Chark?
I would rather the
I
Wilson.
think I'd rather
the Seahawks.
Foles and Chark.
I think I'd rather Foles and Chark too. I like both ends of that though. Half point. Pick three. Chark, Godwin, Julio, Lockett. I'd actually sit Godwin.
No, I would sit Chark.
Sorry, it was
I'm
Chark,
not-
Julio, Godwin.
Lockett.
Yeah, I'm never. I have to bench Chark, and I don't like it, but I'm not ever benching Godwin.
Kittle or Greg Olson, and Greg Olson is spelled wrong.
Ban that person.
Oh, one ban.
Now you're
Ban
getting
for life.
desperate.
No,
Geis,
just a dumb question.
Geis or Mostert?
Geis.
I think we had that one before.
I like Mostert better. Julio Jones or Michael Thomas?
Julio.
Thomas. Michael Thomas is the answer.
Yeah, Michael.
Brian Hill or Tyler Boyd? I like Brian Hill better. You can't start anyone with Fit Finley at quarterback. He fucking
No, you
sucks.
can start
he's
Mixon.
bad.
That's the only Bengal startable is
Yeah,
Mixon.
Hill.
Godwin, Sutton, Devontae Adams, Devontae Parker, pick 3. In that spot, you just sit Sutton.
Yeah.
It's Sutton versus Devontae Parker. Is
Yep.
your start sit.
Oh, I think I think I would take Sutton there.
I like Parker better. Standard flex play. James White or John Brown? Standard.
Why?
Brown.
I don't care.
I take Brown. I think Brown has outscored James White every week this season.
I get it.
Brown's
I think-
had
I
50
think
yards
White-
receiving every week this year.
John Brown, Debo, Jalen Samuels, pick 1, PPR. John Brown.
John Brown.
Oh, this guy's asked that same pick 3 question again, so he's banned for life. Chris Carson or James White? Chris Carson.
Carson.
James White. Oh no, Carson
Over.
there.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, Carson there. Sorry.
Carson or Cooper Kupp? Chris Carson.
Carson.
Crowder or Tyrell? Crowder.
Yeah. No, Tyrell.
Crowder.
Also, the GIF you put up last week of Cup was one of the funniest GIFs you've ever put up.
The what?
The GIF you put up last week of Cooper Kupp is one of the funniest you've done. No one will find the body.
Adrian Peterson or Royce Freeman?
Freeman.
Royce, yeah.
It's pretty close,
Yeah.
though. 2 backups, basically. Slayton or Taylor Gabriel? I'd probably play Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Sledgehammer.
Devontae Parker, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, DJ Chark, sit 1.
Parker.
Yeah.
I think I might sit Cooper Kupp. He's been
I know.
awful.
Sure.
Awful.
I know. I'm going to give him one more chance.
Sony, James Washington, Brendan Cooks. Brendan Cooks.
Cooks.
Yeah, Cooks to play. I thought it was a sit one. Sorry. Yeah, Cooks.
Pick 2. Sterling Shepard, Jamal Williams, Robert Woods. Woods probably not going to play, so don't play him.
Yeah.
409 likes. It does appear like we have 1 minute to get to 450 or the show is over. Full point PPR, Mixon or Geis? Mixon.
Mixon.
Miles Sanders, Darius Geis, or Russell? Get in the gauge with Russell Gage. I'll play Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders.
Sure.
Defense for DK GPPs, Lions, Falcons, or Browns. Objectively, I like the Falcons best, but I think if you're going to just save money, use the Broncos defense. They're $2,400.
I have a lot of Broncos.
I basically have, that's another way to save money this week.
That's like, I think I have about 75% exposure to Broncos defense.
I have Washington's defense, though.
Washington.
They have a good defense.
Sure
They're
they
cheap.
do.
They do, actually. And they're
Best
cheap.
part of their team. Not saying much.
You're playing the Skins D against a team that only wants to run the ball?
Yeah, because I don't believe in Scarborough as much as you all do.
It's not about that. It's just about turnover expectancy.
Tim just still doesn't understand how defenses work in fantasy. He just thinks like teams don't score points. That means they good at fantasy.
I just predict multiple sacks in a game when I was told there's no chance of it, and it happens. That's all.
You are becoming a sack whisperer.
Why didn't you play Bengals defense then?
Because I'm not good at what I do.
Kittle or Hollister? Kittle.
Kittle.
Oh, this guy thinks that Tim is red-pilled.
Whoa.
I don't exactly know what that means, but
From the Matrix.
It either
I
means
know,
he's
I forget
real
which one's
woke or
which, though.
not woke.
Tim is not woke.
I think taking the... I don't know. I forget.
I watched The Matrix yesterday, too.
I still can't remember.
I tuned
that.
into the best part to tune into The Matrix is at the end when they start like getting the guns to go save Morpheus.
Oh, sure.
That's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, the
final 25 minutes.
the train station fight is fantastic.
Start 1. John Brown, Kenny Galladay, Philip Lindsay. I'd play Galladay.
Lindsay.
I play Lindsay.
Really?
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson or Royce Free. We already did this one. This guy's banned for life for asking
Yeah.
again. He's taking up valuable chat. We didn't get to 450. So thanks for nothing, people.
It is 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, we still have 2 minutes, I suppose, before normal going out time. If we get up to 450, though, we'll do like the extra
10
3.
questions. Number 10.
And if we get to 500,
How
we'll
sad are
do
you going
another
to be if he leaves to go coach Florida State? He's not on TV anymore.
I actually haven't watched NFL Network any day. I just tuned into Rank and Marcus for like their segments.
Oh, that's true.
I usually just watch them online. Anthony Miller, Taylor Gabriel, or should I just start over? I would just start over.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
DJ Moore, Galladay, Crowder. Play Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder.
Jaron Brown or Josh Gordon. Play Josh Gordon.
Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Saquon or Chubb in PPR. Saquon.
Chubb.
Chubb.
Really? You guys are mental. Emmanuel Sanders, Jamison Crowder or Debo Samuel? I'll play Jamison Crowder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tannehill, Darnold, Josh Allen. I'd actually play Darnold.
Darnold. Yep.
Arnold.
Bills or Falcons defense? I play Falcons defense. He needs the points badly, though.
Oh, does he?
It's not like one of those other weeks where you're good with
I
not
would
having the
definitely
points.
play Falcons D. The interception and interception touchdown availability is
Yeah,
there.
if you're playing against Jameis, let's go.
There you go.
Rojo, Michelle, or N'Keal Harry? Probably play Ronald Jones.
Oh, yeah, it's still Ronald Jones, but that's not an enviable situation.
Sony Michelle or Jamal Williams? Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still a minute to get to 450, and if we get to 500, then all of a sudden we can do 10 more. Mixon or Coleman? Coleman.
Mixon.
Coleman.
Allen Robinson, Scorin McLaurin, or Waller? Hardly newer.
Waller.
McLaurin.
I like McLaurin as well. Jonathan Williams is an insta one. That is not a question, sir. You're banned for life. You can never ask a question. You can never ask a question again. Wentz, Josh Allen, or Diabetes Darnold? His name is Low Energy Sam.
Sam.
He has very low energy.
Sam the Surgeon is the answer.
No.
That's a
His
terrible nickname.
blood sugar might drop during surgery, and he'd kill
surgeries
people.
are long, dude.
Yeah, think about. You just talked about the guy has very poor accuracy on once every 4 throws that he had. I don't think you want that guy as a surgeon. Ah!
You know what his passer rating was last week? It was fantastic.
If it isn't Mr. McCraig.
Devontae Parker, James Washington, or Sterling Shepard?
Parker.
Parker.
Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, or Hunter Renfro? Sutton.
I'm always going to play Cooper.
Sutton.
Wentz or Foles?
Foles.
Very close.
It is very close, but what would you do, Tim?
What does the Tim flowchart say?
I would take Foles, but it's
You are correct in that assessment.
John Brown or Parker? Parker.
Parker.
If Greg Ward is active, would you play question mark?
Ban that person.
Okay, banned
My
for
brain
life.
just broke.
Pick 2. Curtis Samuel, Deontay Johnson, Emmanuel Sanders, Randall Cobb. Curtis Samuels and Emmanuel Sanders.
Sanders and Cobb.
Debo Samuel, Hunter Renfro, D.D. Westbrook, Hollywood Brown. Pick 2 standard. I'd go Debo and Hunter Renfro.
I'd go
Brown and
Renfro
Renfro.
and Brown.
This guy is answering people's questions. He's banned for life.
Oh, yeah. You get banned for doing that, too.
Let's see here. Rodgers or Mayfield? I'd just play Rodgers.
Yeah, I would, too.
Yep.
Would he,
That
though?
is incorrect.
That
You
is
would
incorrect,
not,
sir.
You would not, Tim. Unfortunately, you would play Baker Mayfield, then Goff, then Sam, then Dak, then Jimmy, then Aaron Rodgers.
Is that so? Okay.
That is so.
There's
yeah.
some guy who flooded the chat with the same question 38 times.
What was the
no
question?
longer. He is banned for life. I don't care what his question is.
What if it was really good, though?
Yeah, I don't think it was. Flex Fant, Brave, or the Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer.
Wait, who's the second person?
Brave. I don't know who that is, but
I'm going to go with Noah Fant.
I'll go with Fant as well. Eagles D or Jets D? I'd play Jets D.
Jumbo Jets.
You know what? I would probably play Eagles D.
Jumbo Jets.
The Jets.
Woods or McLaurin?
McLaurin.
Ridley
McLaurin.
or Robinson? Ridley.
Ridley.
Cooper Kupp or Marvin Jones? There, I would play Cooper Kupp.
Cooper.
This
Marvin
guy's
Jones.
answering people's questions again. Scarborough or Geis? I would play Bo Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Right.
McLaurin or Gallup? Gallup. Help, my season's on the line.
Gallup.
McLaurin.
Dak or Rodgers, Tim?
I am going to play Prescott.
You are correct in that
I would play
assessment.
Rodgers. Debo or McLaurin?
McLaurin.
McLaurin.
Alshon or Sony Michelle? Play Sony Michelle.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Baltimore or
Don't play
Baltimore or San Fran D? Baltimore D.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Samuels or Coleman?
Coleman.
Coleman.
Let's keep going. Beckham, Landry, or Allen Robinson?
Beckham.
Beckham. We're already into overtime here. We got over
We
the
are.
450. If we can get to 500 likes in the next 2 minutes, we'll do 10 more. Jarvis Landry or Odell Beckham?
Odell.
Yeah.
Alshon or no, that's a question we just answered. Sorry. I just read it again. Jalen Samuels or Golden Tate? Golden Tate for me.
I'm going to play Jalen.
Noah Fant or Ryan Griffin?
I'll play Fant.
Griffin?
No, Fant for sure.
David Montgomery or Kareem Hunt? PPR? Kareem Hunt.
I'll play Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Brady or Mayfield?
Baker.
I would play Mayfield.
I play Mayfield as well. Brady or Dak Prescott?
I would play Prescott.
Jimmy G or Sam Darnold?
I
Sam.
would play Darnold.
I would play Garoppolo. Dwelly, Smelly Dwelly, or Noah Fant? I think you play Noah Fant now.
Fant.
Yeah.
Goddard or Vance McDonald? Goddard.
Goddard.
Yes.
Hunt or Lindsey? Lindsey.
Lindsay.
Yes, Lindsay.
Standard League, Bo Scarborough or Jalen Samuels? Standard, you play Bo Scarborough.
Scarborough, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Lions D or Titans D? Lions D.
Yep. Oh, heavy rain at Gillette. Now the wind is blowing hard too.
No.
From Edward or
It's a
ESPN.
5 o'clock game. Like, it doesn't matter yet.
Carr or Wentz? Carr.
Carr,
Yeah.
yes.
Falcons D, Ravens D, Ravens D.
Ravens.
Falcons D.
Parker or Sutton? Parker.
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 Tyrell Williams or P. Parker? I assume that's Peter Parker, Spitterman.
Oh, if Spider-Man's on a team, I'd play Spider-Man.
I'll play Spitterman.
How many DK points do you get for web slingers?
Geis or Cohen? Geis.
Guys, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like we did not get to 500 likes, Garion.
We gave him 5 bonus minutes anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll do 3 more questions. If we can get 25 more likes here in the next 3 questions, then we're going to be good to go. James White or Miles Sanders, Standard League? James White.
White.
Galladay, McLaurin, Washington, pick 2. I would just hit Washington.
Yes.
James White or Bo Scarborough, half-point PPR?
White.
White. Pats D, Falcons D. Just play the Pats D.
Falcons D.
Just play the
Yeah.
play the Pats.
Patriots defense is the best defense in fantasy. Just play them.
Against Jameis.
Crowder or Galladay?
Crowder.
Oh, we got to 500 likes. Keep liking it. We'll go more. Dak or Allen? Now,
Prescott.
we assume this is Brandon Allen.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Allens.
Yeah. We
Is
always-
Kyle Allen or Brandon Allen worse?
I assume Brandon Allen.
Okay.
I would have said, Josh Allen.
Would you play the Smithsonian, Dr. Moreau, or Dawson Knox? Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
Rodgers or Brady? Rodgers.
Rogers.
Hollywood or Galladay?
Galladay.
Holiday.
Full point PPR, Mixon, James White, Jalen Samuels. I would play Mixon.
White.
Mixon.
Emergency situation, because he has a start-sit question. Should I roll with Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki, or Jonnu Smith now that Delaney Walker is doubtful? I would play Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
I would
Knox.
play Johnny Smith.
Gallup or McLaurin? Gallup.
Gallup.
McLaurin, John Brown, Gallup? John Brown.
Gallup.
This
John
one just
Brown.
says Lockett or Brown. So the worst Brown or Tyler Lockett? I'll take Tyler Lockett.
Lockett.
Tyler.
Montgomery or Geis? Singletary. Pick 2. Singletary, Montgomery.
Yeah.
Montgomery and Geis.
Oh, this guy's answering people's questions. He's banned for life. Haskins plus McLaurin or Driscoll plus Galladay? Driscoll plus Galladay.
Oh, my goodness. I'm not looking for minuses for my quarterback.
Landry or Galladay?
Galladay.
Galladay.
Okay.
Parker or Sutton? I like Parker.
Parker.
Play 2. Brady, Rogers, Fitzmagic. I will play Rogers and Fitzmagic.
I'll
I
play
would
Rogers
play
and Brady.
Brady, Jimmy G, or Baker?
Baker.
Mayfield, yes.
Watson or Goddard? Ben Watson.
Ben Watson.
Yes, Watson.
Elliott or Hunt? I will take Ezekiel Elliott.
As will I.
I agree.
That's a weird question. Gurley or Kareem Hunt? That one's a lot closer.
Still girly though.
Still Gurley, but it's very close. Ready for the last question?
Yes.
All caps, too.
Oh.
DJ Moore, Jalen Samuels, or David Montgomery for the flex? The answer, friends, is DJ Moore.
Montgomery.
Montgomery. I like Montgomery.
DJ Moore is good every week.
He is. I like
David Montgomery is not good every week.
I like him for 20 plus touches this week.
Do you like him for Tim? What was your projected stat line for Patrick Laird again? 31 DraftKings points.
I get like 70 yards rushing, but 7 catches and a touchdown.
I believe it was 60 yards rushing, 70 yards receiving
On
on
8
8
catches
catches
and a touchdown. Would you
Yeah.
play Goddard or Cohen? I play Goddard.
Goddard.
Cohen.
Miles Sanders or John Brown? John Brown.
John Brown.
Brown.
Baker, Wentz, Josh Allen. Baker.
Baker.
Rex Burkhead, Scarborough, Tariq Cohen.
Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Scarborough and Standard, Cohen and PPR.
Jeffrey Washington or Brandon Too Many Cooks. I will have a team.
Cooks.
You can never have too many cooks.
Never
Garion.
have too many cooks.
Brendan Cooks it is. Follow Garion on Twitter at Garion Thorne. You can always follow Tim on the Twitter machine at Tim Andercuss. Thanks to Paul
Not
for
my
switching
Twitter
the
account.
cameras. Thank you all out there for entering the chat. If you're still putting in questions, I don't know why you're doing that because the show is over. Maybe you should tune in when the show is actually fucking on in order to get your question answered. Makes more sense that way, I think. Garion is not here next week. I shall be. Tim shall be as well. Maybe we'll have Chris Meany come in. I don't know. We'll have a special guest potentially. It'll just be the two of us. If you want to get into a draw for $20 DK, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not the live chat. The comment section. Tell me your slate breaker for week 12 on the DraftKings Millionaire Maker. And if you want to get into a draw for $50 DK, subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, and something you like about the show. If you want to find the rankings, they're in the description of the video. You want to find the DraftKings cheat sheet, it's in the description of the video. Everything is down there, I swear to God. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. Good luck in week 12. I'll see you next time.